Welcome to Shore Time. It is the time, the place, the being, the everything.
Yes.
Where it is Shore Time all the time, right here from across the Jersey Shore and beyond. Vin Avenue with you. Along with me is Dave Crossan.
Hello.
Things are going
Good
well.
morning.
Closing
Yes.
out the month of July today, July 31st.
What show
of
is
course,
this, buddy?
The exciting MLB trade deadline, a couple days.
Today is the 26th show, right?
Show number 26.
Wow.
Time flies when you're having fun, Dave.
Wow, I love
And
it.
we have been having fun.
We have been having fun.
You know what? I've been having fun at the gym the last couple of weeks. So, well, not like the typical gym. So I work with a trainer a couple of days a week.
So when you say a couple, 2 times.
Yeah. So yeah.
So
oh yeah.
tell
Yeah.
us
Yeah.
about
So
that.
like twice a week.
Okay.
And then I work at home the rest of the week. So I've been feeling pretty good the last
So
couple
is
weeks.
it more like lifting with the trainer rather than cardio, or what's a typical workout?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
Sometimes we'll go a couple weeks of doing the same thing, and then he'll change it up on me. Ryan likes to throw some curveballs at my way.
I think that's so good because you
Cardio-wise
get
and
bored, right? You would
weightlifting-wise.
get bored if it was the same routine.
To a degree, but I guess
Okay.
to me, you kind of get used to it with doing some things, but I like the excitement of doing something different and then maybe going back to what we did because it works different muscle areas.
Okay.
So obviously stretching it starts everything, but we've done different things with different things that he's got. So
Okay.
I work out with Ryan over at Current in Brick. They also have an office in Belmar. But we're working out with him since like the end of last year, like October, after I finished physical therapy, overcoming some issues with my back.
Okay.
But working hard, so really succeeded. I have those days, and he's really good about saying, Vin, it's all right. It's okay to have those off days, because I'm a bit of a perfectionist. You know, I want everything I do to be done perfectly and everything. And I realized, you know what? Sometimes, physically. You do your best, but you kind of feel a little exhausted
how
or tired.
long is a typical session?
About an hour.
An hour. 1 hour.
So twice a week with him. So yeah, he mixes in a good amount of cardio and everything, some lifts and stuff like that. One thing we do, which is a full body workout, is the deadlift.
Okay.
So we've been doing that for a while. It's something I did, obviously, in high school and college, playing football and then in running track as well to try to build up muscle, keep in good shape. And we've been doing it. Some weeks we, kind of lay low, rebuild or work on some of the other muscles, rather. We do some of the deadlift. And last week, because we didn't do it this past week, the week before, when we did the deadlift, I was able to deadlift my own body weight, which is 220 pounds.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, I think that's the first time I've hit 220 on a deadlift in years. So I'm like, all right, well, sky's the limit. So I'm feeling pretty good. Upper body, the lats, the arms, the legs, where you get a good amount of your power from doing that kind of lift. I'm like, all right, well, how far what do I want to set the bar at? What kind of goal? I'm like, all right, well, 230 is right around the corner.
There you go.
Maybe get to 250.
Creep it up there.
300.
Keep moving it. Okay.
I have a buddy of mine who also works out there with the same trainer at a different time, obviously. But he was telling me his deadlift is up to like 460 pounds. So
And how much does he weigh?
He's got a goal of like 500 pounds to deadlift.
And how much does he weigh?
That's a good question.
Roughly.
He's shorter than I am. I forget. I'm probably maybe 190, 200.
Wow, that's
he's
impressive.
Probably about
That's impressive.
maybe a little bit more. I
Okay.
don't want to cheap you, Frank. But I think he's probably about 5'8", 5'7".
Wow.
So
Now-
he's pretty strong.
Now, let
so
me ask you this,
I've
because-
seen he's posted videos too. I'm like,
But
wow.
being that he's shorter, because you are tall, what are you, 6'4"?
Yeah, like 6'4", 6'5".
Okay,
Yeah.
being that he's shorter, is it an easier thing to do?
I've
Because
had
you're
that-
so tall to
Right.
think about what you're doing.
And I've had that conversation with the trainer. Not
The
just
answer
with
is
the
yes,
deadlift.
Vin. Just say yes. Yes, it is.
But with anything, I said, does it really matter? Because obviously, of me being this tall, and I said, whether you're tall or short, I mean,
Right.
because I guess it depends on who you go to or who you hear from. Because sometimes you've heard that, right? Where you're taller, it kind of takes a little bit longer
It's
to
more
bend
of a
down to the
challenge.
ground.
Yeah, definitely.
Longer to
I would
build up the
think.
muscles. I don't know if there's the right answer. I forget. He told me because I asked him a while back. But I guess it kind of depends.
Let me ask you
on
this.
the lift or something.
With building up your leg muscles, I hear if you're looking to lose weight because it's the biggest massive muscle, that's a good place to focus. Number one, the more
Yeah.
muscle mass you can put on, it'll help with your overall, wanting to lose. If you want to lose weight, that's a good place to start.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously you want to do your whole body. but
lose
I'm just
weight
saying,
or build muscle. I mean, it's a
Right.
good power source. I mean, you think of a Major League Baseball swinging.
right.
There's the reason you got to stay in a certain spot in the batter's box with your hips rotating a certain way and
You're
your
not
legs.
just
'Cause
aimlessly swinging.
when you
You gotta
swing,
swing into it
your
with your-
legs got to stay still
Right.
because that's where a good source of power comes from. I'm not a personal trainer, but in my experience, I think I feel like it's been easier, if you will, to build some of the leg muscles like the quads and the hamstrings and the calves and stuff like that because you use them more. You're on your feet, you're running around, walking around, lifting them. You could go, full extension. It feels pretty good and
Right.
stuff like that. But legs are a big part of it. And I feel like even doing certain upper body lifts, right, when my legs are feeling pretty good, doing deadlift or doing, some kettlebell squats or something like that, that you feel like you have more of a base, a support system
Power
to
source,
where
so to speak.
whatever you're
Yeah.
doing, arm curls or something like that, you're like, okay, now I could stand straight. I don't have to worry about my back or my legs
Right.
kind of getting jelly legs.
And that's a big point to bring up because if you don't have a good foundation or base, you could hurt yourself with your upper body
right.
because you're not planted, so to speak.
So form is definitely important, which is one of the other reasons I wanted to seek out a trainer too. Not that I always had terrible form, but I always feel like it's better because you're in the moment, you kind of get through it. You don't, especially when you get fatigued or tired doing
Right.
a workout. I've done it. We all do it. You can get a little sloppy with your form and technique,
Right, or
and then
you
that's
just
when you
shorten
can
your
get
workout.
hurt.
You're not as into it
Or
as
you're
you
not doing
normally
as
would
many
be.
reps. So
Yeah.
need somebody to kind of, when your form's starting to falter even the tiny bit, to somebody there to say, hey, Vin, and just put your big toe into the ground or do this or do that. So
Well, I think what you're doing is great because what I do is I'm more into not that I wouldn't be into a personal trainer, but I like to go to classes, like say a boxing class or kickboxing.
there you
where
go.
I look at it as an appointment. An appointment I'm going to, because if I were to say, okay, let me get a similar workout at the gym by myself, it's never going to happen. But if you have a teacher, an instructor saying, okay, now it's time for push-ups, now it's time to hit the bag, now it's time for sit-ups, you're going to do it. You have other people in the class, you're focusing on it, and you're going to get so much more out of it. And to me, that's so important because I know myself, if I don't have that type of structure, it's just not going to happen. It isn't, and I'll admit that. I need to know, okay, today at 5:30, I have to be at this class, and that's it. It's on the calendar, and I have an instructor. But if you were to say, hey, Dave, go to the gym at 5:30, I would like to say to you, I'm going to go. But if I don't have it as a set time with an instructor pushing me to do my best, I may not give my best or I may not go. And that's my problem. I admit it on the air.
Yeah.
I need that kind of focus. I need that type of attention.
I think a lot of people feel that way. Now, listen, I've done that too. I feel like, especially with the structure of a work day and whatever else is going on, I feel like, okay, I know that every Tuesday and Thursday is when I meet with them. 2:00. Okay, going in there.
And he's going to hold you to it. You're not going to call him, I'm tired. I'm not
No, I
going
wouldn't
in
do
today.
that to him.
Yeah, exactly.
He knows that. But I know those 2 days. Okay, for that hour, I'm there. Sweating it out, working hard. Pushing. And I know he's gonna push me to my max, but without overdoing it. He's gonna make sure I do it smart and got good form and healthy. And I was telling him too, because we were doing this one type of push. It's almost like the reverse of a row. And he's usually got to remind me to breathe half a dozen times because I usually just start doing stuff and he's like, Vin, you got to breathe. Your face is turning red. But it was this one thing. It was like sort of like you kind of pushing up so I said, I usually don't grunt, and I don't in a gym.
You're that guy.
Because I'm like, you just kind of like those
Right.
breaths through where you're doing a rep, you're just kind of like push them out. But it was just like, I felt it was like the last rep, it was like the fourth set, last couple reps, and it was weight I could handle. It was like off the rack. I was just like pushing. I was like, sorry. I said, usually don't grab. He's like, that's good. He said,
whatever gets you through it.
You should feel that way toward the last couple sets or reps because it means you've worked hard and you just give it everything you got in those last couple reps smartly,
Okay.
but then you feel good because it's like that's how muscles grow.
Okay.
You think about it, working out, you're tearing muscles apart, obviously in a healthy way, and then you're regrowing them by lifting heavier weight, doing certain lifts or certain motions, good diet and exercise along with it as well. But it's, you want to feel that pain, that soreness, that good pain, that good soreness, because it means you had a good workout and now you're rebuilding some good muscle.
Well, you mentioned diet, and I will throw something
right.
in there that I have been trying recently.
Okay.
Is the intermittent fasting,
how's that
where
going?
you have an 8-hour window for you to eat, and then 16 hours of the day that you do not eat. So you
I've heard
try and
about that.
pick the 8 hours that make sense. So for me, I've been doing the noon to 8 o'clock.
Okay.
That way I can, go to work, eat at noon, have a workout afterwards. And again, as I'm telling you this, I'm figuring it out. I'm not,
Still work in progress.
Yeah, I'm not the best at it. But the biggest challenge was I'd always eat breakfast and, start my day and then go from there. And I guess the idea is the longer that you are eating through the course of the day, your body doesn't have that opportunity to really burn off the necessary fat, different things that you've stored up, where that 16 hours, if you let your body do that and you have only 8 hours to eat, then, most likely you probably won't eat as many calories or have as many calories that you're consuming for that reason. And then, okay, 8 o'clock is a generous time to be able to eat up to. As long as I'm, say done, I can eat by, say 7, I'll throw that out there.
Okay.
I don't feel like all of a sudden it's like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. I'm like, oh my goodness, I got to eat something. I've been eating for that 8-hour period. And then through sleeping and then waiting to go to noon the next day, there's 16 hours where I haven't eaten. Now, the biggest challenge, you'll make fun of me, is the coffee that I drink. I love my half and half and cream. That's off the table while I'm fasting. So
That's
I have
tough.
to drink coffee as it is. No cream, nothing, zero.
That's the way I like it.
I do put some cinnamon, and I'm getting used to it. Now, again, during the period when I can eat those 8 hours, then if I wanted a cup of coffee and I want to put cream in it, that's okay. But while I'm fasting, the only coffee I can have is just regular coffee with nothing in it.
There we go.
That's
My
the
kinda
biggest
guy.
challenge. So I'm trying it out. So far, so good.
All right.
I've gotten used to it. I figured initially it'd be like, oh, this is going to be extremely difficult with not having any breakfast. But what I've been trying to do is get a workout in the morning, maximizing the fact that I haven't eaten for quite a period of time, maybe burn off calories, or I should say fat and whatnot that I have that I need to, for energy or whatever it is. I'll let you know how I do as time goes on in future shows, but it's something I'm working on, something that it makes sense in my mind. It's one of those things, if it makes sense, people have had success with it, why not give it a shot?
Yeah, why not?
And again, we're not here promoting anything. It's just I'm giving
you gotta
it
do what works
a
for you.
shot.
So,
Yes.
that works.
And some people may need to eat during the course of the day for their different reasons, earlier, for breakfast. So, diet-wise, I'm not
everybody's
here saying
different.
that, this is what you need to do. But for me, why not? Give it a shot.
Yeah. No, I would wish all the best with it. Hey, if it works for you, why not?
Exactly.
So, I go home, you drink my pre-workout, drink my post-workout protein shake and everything. So I try to maximize on that, get a good amount of water and milk in between. So getting good workouts. Thanks to, I work out at home too. I got some kettlebells and dumbbells and stuff like that at home in between working out with my pal Ryan over there at Current. So we got a great show on deck. We got somewhat
People
of
are going to see a picture of me like, Dave, it's not working. What's going on here with all this stuff you're saying that you're doing?
Come on, Dave. I don't know if I want to try that.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. People are going to be like, wait, that's what you look like, and you're saying you're doing all these things? I don't know. Doesn't look like a good idea.
Give it time. Patience.
Patience,
right?
you're right.
Trust the process.
It's a process.
Trust the
You're
process.
right. There it is.
We got it. We'll compare notes. I'll keep doing my thing. You do yours, and then we'll circle back every week.
I like
We're
it.
all right,
Why not? Every Sunday.
Keep it going.
There
yeah.
it is.
Well, what workout routines and diet plans are working?
And for people that may want to reach out to us with some ideas and things that are working, where should they email us?
I think they know. Well, we'll remind them.
Okay,
Short time,
all right.
townsquaremedia.com. Short time at townsquaremedia.com. Well, we could have a sports conversation later on this morning with Mike Huber, a mental health performance coach who works with young athletes in high school, college, and some coaches as well. And then coming up next is Kimmee Masi with Confections of a Rockstar Bakery in Asbury Park. So she'll start us off with some delicious treats and telling us what's going on inside the bakery. Then we'll have Mike Huber on after that. In between, Dave's financial wake-up call as well. We got a lot cooking this morning in the kitchen and on the athletic field. Short Time with Vin and Dave continues next.
Hey, this is UFC Championship fighter and Toms River High School East alumni Frankie Edgar, and you're listening to Short Time with Vin and Dave on 94.3 The Point and 105.7 The Hawk. Dave and Vin, these guys are the buzz.
Whether you're in the early stages of investing, getting ready to retire, or planning your estate, you need a financial planner who will guide you on a clear path with honesty and transparency. Shoreline Wealth Management understands that you are more than your money, and they strive to help you realize your best life as they align your finances with your goals. Best of all, Shoreline's straightforward approach will include you in the process. Shoreline Wealth Management is your financial anchor. Visit shorelinewealth.com for more information. Shorelinewealth.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC.
Welcome back to Short Time with Vin and Dave. Vin Avenue, Dave Crossan with you. And Dave, it's smell like a bakery in here.
Come
so
on,
we've got a delicious,
goodness.
fun way to get things going here this hour.
Unbelievable.
And that is with Kimmee Masi, owner, baker, wearing all kinds of hats with Confections of a Rockstar Bake Shop and Catering over in Asbury Park. So before we dive into the sweets, Kimmee, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
First of all, you are too kind bringing in these awesome treats. I always say to Vin, Vin likes to bake, by the way,
I've
and he
been
doesn't
slacking.
bring anything in. See? You come in here and look what you've done.
Well, he's got to come work for me part-time.
Well, yeah.
That's how we'll make it work.
This is a
work on that.
professional
See?
here. I do it sort of as a hobby. It tastes good and everything, but
Being modest. Okay.
Isn't that the truth?
well, we want to discuss all the good stuff that you have at the bakery and everything. It looks good, certainly from all the pictures and everything that you post. I mean, it looks fantastic,
And
very creative and everything as well.
I've been there.
Well,
It's
yeah.
amazing.
It does.
It's amazing.
Dave is a witness.
Yes. Yes.
It really does.
So what are some of the some of your favorites that you make, and some of the favorites that people coming in like to try and order?
So much. So every day is a little different,
All
but
right.
we just started bringing in croissants, which are super popular.
Oh.
And they're not just like your basic butter croissants. We're doing like a Mike's Hot Honey,
Oh wow.
Nutella, chocolate croissant. There's one more that I always like. Oh, the cinnamon sugar croissant. That one's delicious too.
Oh, wow.
We do a lot of breakfast items, cinnamon buns. But, later during the day is our cupcakes, our cookies. We do what I call a ho-ho crumb bun, which is the take on the traditional 7-layer Italian cookie.
Okay.
But we turned it into a crumb bun, which is quite delightful as well.
Oh wow.
For me to honestly say there's nothing I don't like in my store, and I don't say that because I own it. Like, I'm really particular. I am on top of my team all day, every day, quality, 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 quality. And if it doesn't pass my quality, it doesn't go out. So, again, everybody has a different palate. What everybody likes, I
sure.
may not. And what I may like, not everybody will. So I can toot my own horn here, but, people just have to come and try it if they haven't.
Now, what is something that you've come up, or especially with regard to cupcakes, because it just looks amazing, with how you craft different cupcakes or anything, with what you put on top, what do you put in it? Do you ever just kind of sit around and you're like, this would be a good combination?
All the time. But we're so afraid. Depending upon like our location in Asbury, it's not a big all kind of flavor. It's not a very savory shop, I should say, and that's not coming out right. So if I decided we did a chocolate Cajun cupcake, it was amazing. It was honestly amazing, but it just didn't sell. So we do come up with lots of ideas, and then it comes to me, and I'm just like, nope, won't sell. Nope, won't sell. Yep, totally go with it. So I let my staff do a lot of that as well. So I give them some rein to let them be creative. It helps them grow. So we do, anything kind of crazy. We did a corn muffin, which was really super awesome, with a mascarpone frosting and a chicken wing on top.
Oh,
and it was,
Wow.
It was
Okay.
amazing.
There you go.
And it was stuffed with mashed potatoes. It was delicious.
Oh wow.
It just didn't go. It just didn't sell. And people come to us, they want sweets. It's in the name, Confections. Like,
Sure.
it's not. So we're a little different. We're a little edgy. I like to think outside the box and think that certain things will sell, but sometimes they just don't, and that's okay. You try things.
Yeah, experiment a little bit.
Exactly. In worst case, I bring them to the local police department or, whatever doesn't work. So it doesn't go to waste.
Well,
Yeah.
you're in the perfect spot with Asbury and just trying different things. And, I saw your shop. I went in. I was like, wow, it's unbelievable.
Thank you.
I want to go back a little bit, though. Before the bakery, going back, you're a musician.
I am a musician.
I want to
there we
hear a
go.
little bit about this
Sure
because
am.
you're in the perfect spot in Asbury, of course.
That's exactly why Confections wound up in Asbury, because it's all musical, it's arts, it's everything creative as a community, right? So I got my first drum when I was 4, which, give me a second, because this, that was my dad. And normally it doesn't bother me. I mean, it used to. But now I guess it's just, I don't know, I'll blame it on the humidity. So
There you go.
I got my first drum from him when I was 4, and then started baking when I was 9 in his bakery. So my parents used to fight all the time because my dad got me a drum when I was a kid. And in 1974, it just wasn't heard of. Like, there were female drummers, but they were, like, in the closet. I don't even know if I can say that, so I'm sorry. They were hidden. Like, female drummers just weren't really out and about. But, so it stuck, obviously. So I started playing in bands when I was 13. Started baking with my dad when I was 9, and this Confections was supposed to be my retirement present to myself after I was a famous rock star drummer that toured the world with a super famous rock star band.
There you go.
However, I totally believe now that what you put into the universe is what you get back from the universe, so I wasn't specific enough to say I wanted to be a touring rock star famous drummer in a famous rock star band. So I got one aspect of the rock star. So, but that's how it came to be. I quit my full-time job, which was in insurance, and that really was to manage the band that I was in, which was doing really phenomenal. And my singer was deployed to Iraq, and when he came back, it didn't fit anymore. It wasn't a good fit. So that's kind of, while he was there, I decided to open up the business. We tried to find another singer. But there's just something, when you find that chemistry in a band, you cannot replace it, and it was hard to do.
Sure.
So we just decided that, the 3 of us would play here and there, and then that kind of fizzled out, especially when I opened the business. But, I keep that aspect. So good story is that I tried to play drums like 2 months ago, which was super cool, and I sat down. I had no idea what I was doing, so I decided to go to Lake House around the corner. I called them. I'm like, I need some lessons. They're like, what? You've been playing drums forever? I'm like, I need lessons. So I started doing that, which is kind of cool. So I'm kind of bringing it back. So I take lessons once a week, and I play with this great band on Monday nights, which is super cool too.
Nice.
So yeah, it's fun. I needed to get that back. It was such a large part of my life. But while I've been in the store, I'm in the store, and my minimum day is 12 hours. So,
Oh, wow.
The last thing you want to do is play drums at 10 o'clock at night or at 4 o'clock in the morning. It's not that I wouldn't want to, but nobody's going to want to hear it. So
Wake everybody up. Good morning, Asbury Park.
Exactly.
So I used to play in the store, but then it would rattle all the furniture and everything else in the apartments
wow.
above. Like, I had this one little section because I rebranded it, which prior to the rebrand, I had this little alcove up top that was supposed to be set up for bands to play, but it was way too small and I could barely stand up there. So I would get up there once in a while and just play, just to like keep my chops.
Sure.
But yeah, people didn't like that, so I get it. I mean, it was a lot of vibration for the tenants above. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm at. So now I'm back to playing, so I'm super excited about that.
Nice.
And yeah, all fun.
Well, I want to bring up one other thing. During the pandemic, you had What's Up AP, and I would see it on Facebook where you would have a video of the different places in Asbury, what's going on, how people are doing, how they're getting through this pandemic. It was such a difficult time. I mean, we're still dealing with it,
Right.
but at the time you're doing this, going back right when the pandemic started, I thought that was so important because people needed to put out their story, how they're surviving, what they're dealing with. Can you talk about that?
Sure. It was it was something that I wanted to do. I'll start with the fact that I had so much stuff left inside our store when we closed down that I didn't know what to do with it. So I decided I literally was probably not in that store a week for the entire thing while we were closed because I needed to do. Like, that's who I am. I need to do things. I need to do things for people. That makes me feel really good. That, like, you know,
Sure.
is whatever. It just gives you such a feeling to give back and be able to help. So I did spend a lot of time in the store baking and donating it. That was super huge for me. But then I was like, how can we keep all these other businesses alive? Like, if they stay alive, then so will we. So when I say I did it to really help the other businesses, I truly did. But to some degree, if they were to stay alive, then ultimately, hopefully, so would Confections. So I decided to start. I think Rebel was the first. I think Rebel was the first video we did, which was just, it was funny. We probably could have sat there all day and, you know, drank tequila shots. Oddly enough, people ask me after doing that, like, do you have a drinking problem? And I'm like, no, I don't even drink. So, you know, but I thought it would be cool to add a little bit of, you know, edginess to the video. So it was super important. I think we wound up getting to maybe 10 locations, but it was so hard because then, as we're still putting these out, the local restaurants were able to, you know, have seating outside.
Right.
And then they got busy. And then it started out with you could allow indoor and retail, but they had to be separate, 6 feet apart. So everything got to be so busy. But ultimately, my goal was to get every single business in that town and then expand and go to other towns because I think it's super important. Like, you know, it's really good when people realize that there's a sense of community, but every town has a sense of community somewhere.
Sure.
And they all work together. And it's super important. That is the only way, like, anyone gets anywhere. You have to be compassionate, you have to be understanding, you have to be kind, and you have to be willing to work with people. At least that's my perspective, and that's how I try and live my life. Doesn't always work that way, but
Well, you can
ultimately
always
to
try.
help people, I mean, that is my goal. So it was fun. I get asked, you know, when am I going to do it again? And I'm like, I want to. I'm so out of time. I know that sounds funny, but I mean, but it's important to me. So I think it would be fun to do again, maybe in the fall.
I was
there you
thinking
go.
the same
Calm down
thing
a
as
little
when the
bit.
summer calms down. That'd be a good idea.
And do like a different take. Like I want to have like a nice little lounge and bring people in and, you know,
Nice.
get breakfast from local restaurants or lunch or whatever it is so that everybody is involved in it in some way, shape, or form.
Well, I tell you what, when you were doing this, so I had moved to Asbury March of 2020. So think about
right, when
perfect
it
timing.
happened.
And I would walk up and down Cookman, and there was maybe one or two places open. And it was one of those times that you're like, you look at these businesses that have been there for quite some time, you want them to do well. And
Right.
I saw myself making sure that I would visit different places and buy something just to help out. But then I saw what you were doing. I'm like, you know what? That's what this is all about. We're all trying to get through this. These are small businesses that have been there that deserve an opportunity to get to the other side of
Right.
what we were dealing with the pandemic.
It was fun, and tequila made it fun. You know, because I didn't want them to be like. Sometimes people are a little, even though we were all going through the same thing, to some degree, people are a little standoffish. Sometimes they don't want to put their story out there because they don't want any kind of negative
Right.
response or reaction to it. And I get that, but you know, I pushed hard. But there's a lot of other businesses that we could do the same thing for. So, you know, it's very important to me.
Kimmee, Dave and I have to head out to a break, but I want to talk more about Confections of a Rock Star and everything you're doing in the Asbury Park community. Can you hang with us?
Sure, I would love to.
Awesome. There we go. More Short Time with Vin and Dave and Kimmee Masi with Confections of a Rock Star Bakery in Asbury Park right after this.
Hello, this is Chef David Burke on Short Time with Vin and Dave on 94.3 The Point and 105.7 The Hawk. And if you could see us, you'd know the three of us have perfect faces for radio.
Whether you're in the early stages of investing, getting ready to retire, or planning your estate, you need a financial planner who will guide you on a clear path with honesty and transparency. Shoreline Wealth Management understands that you're more than your money, and they strive to help you realize your best life as they align your finances with your goals. Best of all, Shoreline's straightforward approach will include you in the process. Shoreline Wealth Management is your financial anchor, committed to helping you weather life's storms. Visit shorelinewealth.com for more information today. Shorelinewealth.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA. FINRA SIPC.
Welcome back to Short Time with Vin and Dave. Vin Avenue, Dave Crossan with you. And with us here this hour is Kimmee Masi, the owner, baker extraordinaire of Confections, of a rock star over there on Cookman Avenue in Asbury Park, making things from cakes and cookies and sticky buns and cupcakes. And, by the way, Dave, doggy cupcakes as well. Bring one home
in
for
Asbury,
Ruben.
You have to. Come
You
on. Have to do it.
Oh,
Has that
absolutely.
become very popular, specifically the doggy cupcakes?
Super popular, which is why we also started making doggy biscuits.
Ah.
So everything is like vet approved, but it's so popular. They come into the store, they like to hang out, but it's so funny. Like people have been coming there for years. Those dogs know exactly where I am. They lead them right into the store. It's great. So, we make doggy cakes. We do a lot of stuff. It's fun. I have to work on other pets though, because there are other pets out there. Once I get some free time, I'll work on the cats next, and whatever comes after
There you
that.
go.
So you're going
Just
to have
not the
dogs
rats.
and cats and coming in the
Absolutely.
store.
As
I
long
love
as they
it.
come in on a leash, I'm totally cool
there you
with it. Totally. It's all about the fun.
You mentioned it was like a 12-hour workday given, during the week and everything. So what is a typical day like when you get in? Is it kind of like making a bunch of stuff? Do you have to make how much do you usually make throughout the day before you head out?
So a typical day for me ranges. So it depends. I do have a great staff of people. So I do have a baker who comes in super early, and then I have a finisher who comes in next, and then my cake decorator / manager comes in after that, and then the front of the house starts coming in. So when I get in, it depends on what my day has in store for me. I could either be in at 5 o'clock in the morning, or I could be in at 8, or sometimes if I want, I'm going to stroll in at 10 o'clock. Just
There you
depends
go.
on the day. And it depends on how much I have to get done before I actually go in. So some of the things I do as well is quality. Quality is super important. So if my baker is baking things and something doesn't look right, I pull it and they have to do it again. Like I won't sell anything burnt. Don't get me wrong. Does sometimes things fall through the cracks? Absolutely.
Right.
To say that we're perfect at what we do would just be a lie, and that's, not true. So, but it depends. I do a lot of cake consults with brides, grooms, birthday parties. So I spend a large part of my day doing that, overseeing operations, making sure everybody is doing what they need to do, that they're on top of it, that they're happy, that the customers are being taken care of. Because honestly, our product, we make it all from scratch. That for me is, I could never, after doing this, because we're going on 10 years next week.
Nice.
So August 4th, I haven't done anything to prepare
Fantastic.
for it. So, but 10 years is a really big thing for us. So we make it all from scratch, which is why I could never go back now and kind of be like, oh, let's get this in because it's going to be easier, because the cost of ingredients is like through the roof.
Oh, yeah.
So quality, but I mean, my days are spent, and sometimes I run around and I really don't know what I'm doing. Like something can happen that totally shifts the day, and then I can't refocus myself. And then I'm like, okay, well, let's do this. And you know what, let's do this. Or they'll ask me a question at 8 o'clock in the morning. And by 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, why are you doing that? And they're like, well, you told me to do this at 8 o'clock in the morning. So sometimes I'm a little bit like a tornado. I feel bad for my staff sometimes. But again, I'm a force to work for. There is no doubt about it. Am I the easiest person? No. But at the end of the day, we have a brand, right? So you want to stick to that brand. Like if you work for, let's say, Starbucks, you're not going to put out Rook coffee. Like everything, you got a brand.
Right.
So for me, it's all about maintaining that and keeping with the quality. So when things aren't right, that's when I lose it. If I have to go back and say the same thing 40 times, I'm done. Because nobody has to knock and say, "Hey, listen, you need to do this." I'm like, "Nah, I got it." So my days are funny. Like they're either I don't know. See, look, there I go. I'm like going into tornado mode. It's that ADD.
Lots of thoughts.
That's okay.
But you know what? At the end of the day, I love what we've created. I love the business. It's a lot of work, though. I mean, to do it all from scratch, that's where like our batters, our fillings, our frostings, our cheesecakes, everything, except for some of the things you see on the top, like Reese's peanut butter cups. Obviously, we don't make those. Sprinkles, I don't make those, though. I mean, if I had more staff, I would find the time and make
why
them
not?
myself. It's probably cheaper. But yeah, so it's my staff. If you were to ask my staff what they would say an average day, probably would not even compare to what I just told you. They'd be like, "Can you walk around here?"
Well, we actually brought your staff. They're about to
That
come in
would
now.
be
and tell us
Flour flying
everything that's
everywhere
going on.
and eggs.
Oh my God, that would be so funny because they would be like, you had it partially right, but you forgot about
Listen.
this, and you forgot like when this happened, and you totally lost it on this. But keeps it real.
Well,
you
can
know?
we talk? You know, your day is so busy with the bakery. Now you're back drumming, but you're also doing some great things to help people in the community. Can you go into the different things that you're working on right now?
Sure. Well, this new initiative just literally popped up on me, which is phenomenal, which is called Community Karma. And this actually started by a lovely woman out in the San Francisco area. And when she moved to New Jersey, started to kind of push through with it. So basically, the gist of it is eventually it's going to wind up being Asbury helping Asbury, but it's really just in the beginning stages, helping children with school supplies and back to Christmas, helping them with meals, helping family get meals. So, I mean, for me to say any more than that, I would probably be kind of making it up in the back of my head, even though I know that that's what's going to happen. But it's really such a new initiative. I think we just all have to help people, no matter what, like whatever it is. I mean, that is my foundation. It's not everybody. So, but everybody, everybody feels good when they help somebody. And it doesn't matter what it is. I mean, you give somebody a bottle of water, even a smile, which is a smile.
Smile can go a long way.
Cheapest, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't cost anything to be kind. And I think as a humanity, we really need to spend some time focusing on that. So that's one thing. The other things I do are, whatever I can to help. Like if somebody comes to me and they need a donation and I'm able to accomplish it, then that's what I do. For a lot of things that I believe in. So we did rebrand the store, which I think I just mentioned briefly, which is funny, and this will lead back to where I'm going with this. So the walls used to be pink and people used to be able to sign the walls. So I thought it was a great idea, since Asbury Park was becoming Asbury Park now in 2022, that we take Confections of a Rockstar to 2022. Funny enough, people didn't necessarily know the name of the business as Confections of a Rockstar, but they knew it by the pink walls and signatures that no longer exist. So I did have somebody come out and take photos of all the signatures on the walls so that I could create a book, but I'm like 7 months into it and I haven't gotten there yet. But I am trying to bring back some organic part of that business because I realized that people loved that. It made them feel special, and why shouldn't they have something? That was the whole purpose of that. So what we're doing now is I have somebody creating a really cool guitar. It's going to be like 12 feet. It's going to go on the wall. And we're going to take, they don't know this yet, but we're going to take pictures of the Pony and the Wonder Bar and the Saint and everything musical, House of Independence, wherever I can. And that's going to cover the guitar, and that's going to be a photo op for people.
Oh, wow.
Sweet.
With that, we'll do Polaroids. We'll let them sign it. I'm going to take $5 for that so that I can donate that to a different charity every month.
Oh, there you go.
And then we can put it on the wall.
Nice.
So, wherever we can to find things to give back. So those are, and back to the What's Up AP. So I have a lot of work ahead of me and still trying to manage a business. And I only have one, and I was supposed to have like 12 by now, but it's okay.
And get a couple hours of sleep a night, right?
Yeah,
Any thoughts on TV, maybe?
TV, my goodness, yes. If I could, absolutely. Like, TV would be awesome. Some people don't want to do it, but I'm like, I would love that. My own talk show on TV
Sure.
where I could get people to
That'd be
talk
fun.
about real life and real things. 100%. 100%. Sign me up. Anywhere.
I want to ask, because obviously you've played the drums for a while, and obviously Confections of a Rockstar is still very much a part of you. But who are, in the music world, some of your favorite bands to listen to growing up or now in the rock world?
Oh, that's such a good one.
Like bands, artists?
So, if I'm being perfectly honest, disco is my favorite.
Okay.
Nobody ever, I tell
Bee
people
Gees?
that. Bee Gees.
You
Give
know
me
what?
Bee Gees
Staying
any
alive.
day of the week.
I agree with you. Great songwriters.
Oh my God. Amazing, right? Amazing.
Good
I had
old
said
Barry
to my
Gibb.
band, oh my God, I love them all. But I had said to my band, probably like 13, 14 years ago, I'm like, we need to do a Bee Gees cover band. It was before the Bee Gees cover band is out now, and they were like, no way. I'm like, oh my God, I'm telling you, it would be amazing and fun. But I don't know. So I love the Bee Gees, but I love all kinds of music, but different parts of it. There is some country I like. There is some rap I like. My favorite bands growing up was totally Motley Crue.
Oh, there you go.
AC/DC. Rush.
Rush.
The good
Poison.
stuff.
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin wasn't when I was first growing up, but Eagles, like music.
There we
I listen
go.
to yacht rock radio all day.
Okay.
I just like that music is phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know, like, and it was real music. There's no like overdubbing, and it was just real. But like, that's
Like
not just that
true
doesn't
rock
take.
and roll.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take anything. But I love like, but you know, it doesn't mean I like the whole album. Like, there's certain songs from like every album in the world that I could probably pick out and like and totally live by that. But I just, and we listen to music all day. Like, some days I'll go up front and like Eminem's popping out there, and I'm like, or Confections of a Rock Star, and they're like, but I want to listen to it. I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, I can't. What am I gonna do? If it makes them happy, I gotta let it go. I used to be like, no, put on rock. But I have one kid who loves to listen to Metallica
Yeah.
Okay.
on a Saturday night.
Love Metallica.
I love Metallica, but like listening to Master of Puppets now it's huge, right? Now it's huge because of Stranger Things.
Right, yeah.
But-
Instead of the whole album.
Right, but like having that blast at like, you know,
Master.
Alexa app at like 20, and you got a kid coming in who's like 4, and they're just like, oh my God, where am I? So
what's going on here?
it's kind of funny, but you know, all good.
Let me ask
great
you a
album.
question. As a drummer, if we could sit right next to you, a drummer, a famous drummer, to have a conversation with, who would it be for you?
Oh,
Who is just only one? Who would it be?
It's a tough.
I
one.
like this.
Yeah.
they have to be
it's-
famous.
Well,
No,
there's
you
a
know
lot
what?
of classic drummers
There
from from the
are.
bands
So many.
that
I
you
mean,
mentioned.
You know what? You get to choose. They don't have to be famous.
I will say John Bonham,
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
100%.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
But then I'd have to throw my grandfather in there, who I never met, and he was a drummer.
Okay.
And he used to play somewhere when he was a kid before Frank Sinatra was even Frank Sinatra.
Wow.
Like, he used to
Love
play
me
on
some
the
Frank.
corners. Yeah. So, but no, John Bonham. Like, I would love to get in his brain.
Oh, one of the
There's
best
just
of all
so
time.
many, but like and showy. Like, that's what I love. Like a great drummer is a great drummer, right?
Yeah.
But when you add in the fact that they put on a performance, that's what people want to see. You know, you don't want to spend $300 on one ticket for a lawn and not see a performance. That's what
Oh, yeah.
you want. So
Yeah, be
that
entertained.
to me was always a huge part of my playing. Like, but then I would like get so into like more of the performance aspect of it that I would like speed up the song, and my band would just be like, "What are you doing?" But
Well, you mentioned Rush. I mean, one of the best drummers of all time.
insane, and Neil Peart, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but all drummers, they're
Phil
just
Collins.
oh God, please,
Dave
there's
Grohl.
there's so
and
many.
you bring up, performances. I mean, you think about Tommy Lee.
Oh.
You know, he would go like on a track upside down playing the drums. I mean, talk about a showman
I'm
as a
telling you.
drummer.
Yeah.
Yep, phenomenal. And I like Travis Barker too. He's very, very. I mean, I don't think there's any drummers out there that I don't have. I don't think there's a musician out there that I don't have a respect for. It takes a lot. I
Sure
mean,
it
it's
does.
not
Yeah.
easy. So, yeah, but yeah, that was a good one. Thanks.
You are welcome.
Gonna be the
Yeah,
question
no.
of the day.
Hey, always happy to talk rock and roll. Love that. It's my still my favorite genre. Love listening to rock. 70s, 80s, 90s, even today. Whatever's
Well, you know
whatever's
what it
still
is?
out
We grew
there.
up at a good time.
Yeah.
In my opinion,
Yeah, you had some
music,
good
you
rock.
had bands.
Yep.
And the performance was, there was such competition.
Right.
And you had to be on your A game. And I'm not
Absolutely.
taking anything away from today, but there's a lot more ways to make somebody maybe sound better, or programming the
absolutely.
music or
I
whatever.
have
it
different
is.
we had
equipment
to
in the
do that
studios.
Right.
We couldn't get on YouTube and be like, "Hey, I'm here." Like, we didn't have that
Correct.
available.
There's more of
to
an
us. We
outlet
didn't have
now.
social
Right.
media. Period. God, that makes me sound
Imagine
so
YouTube in the
old, but
70s when Zeppelin was going big.
Could you imagine? That'd have been insane. But it's you know what? It's wonderful resources that we have available to everybody now. So it's so funny to think of how far we've come since like 1970, when it took
Yeah.
us so long to get to 1970.
Right.
It's crazy.
Great point.
So
Kimmee, as we wrap up, if on a given day you're feeling like a good dessert or whatever, you make something up or pick something out in the bakery, what is your go-to snack or go-to dessert from the bakery?
on any given day, sometimes it's easier for a cookie, but I do love my cupcakes. But I'm going to say my chocolate chip cookie. That
Okay.
is my father's recipe, and I've been eating it since 1977.
Wow.
So
There you go. Nice.
Yeah, so it's good. But again, you'd have to try it. All of it, I assure you. I mean, it's not going to be for just because I like it doesn't mean you two won't. But at the same point in time, it's we have stuff. We have vegan items. We have gluten-free. We try and keep every allergy in our our focus. I can't even think of the words. So my apologies. Nut-free stuff. So
yeah. The nut allergy.
Yep.
Oh, there you go. Excellent. Kimmee, thanks for coming in and talking about
so
the bakery and everything you're doing in the community.
Thank you. This was phenomenal. Thank you for having me.
If people were to look for you that have maybe never been there, you're right on Cookman Avenue. What about like a website or any social media you want people to be aware of?
Instagram's super popular for us, so that's Confections of a Rockstar, and that's on Instagram. And then our website, it should just say permanently under construction. I'm not going to lie. So
I noticed that.
It's so bad. But, in all fairness, it's just, so we're just going to, it is confectionsofarockstar.com, but they could call the store. We're at 550 Cookman Avenue, right kind of like the block and a half before you hit the major way to the ocean. So, don't look for the pink neon sign anymore. It's not there. That's gone. But there is a nice new sign up there with the new logo. So
excellent.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
This was so much fun.
Thank you.
Ben, you're coming in the mornings. We're going to
get a new part-time
Ben has
gig.
been hired. He's
Absolutely.
Sounds good.
Thank you guys
Lots
so much.
of tasty treats. That is Kimmee Masi with Confections of a Rockstar in Asbury Park. More Short Time with Vin and Dave next.
Hi, this is Southside Johnny from the Asbury Jukes, and you are listening to Short Time with Vin and Dave on 94.3 The Point and 105.7 The Hawk. And I'm in the Hall of Fame.
Whether you're in the early stages of investing, getting ready to retire, or planning your estate, you need a financial planner who will guide you on a clear path with honesty and transparency. Shoreline Wealth Management provides clarity through the complexity with offices in Manchester and Manahawkin. Shoreline Wealth Management is your financial anchor. Visit shorelinewealth.com for more information and start your financial journey with comfort and security today. Shorelinewealth.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC.
Welcome back to Short Time with Vin and Dave. Vin Avenue, Dave Crossan with you. And we just had, I could still smell the cookies and brownies, Dave. A tasty visit from Kimmee Masi with Confections of a Rockstar Bakery there in Asbury Park here as it's good, it's good more. We always talk about good breakfast food. I mean, she's got it all from breakfast foods to lunchtime, creations to obviously desserts.
They're trying different things. They're changing it up. I've been there.
Doggy treats?
Yeah, I love that. Well, Asbury especially. I mean, talk about a dog-friendly community, having that. But every time you go in there, there's new treats, different things that they're working on. It's tremendous. And it was so good to have the interview with Kimmee and learn obviously about that, her background as a musician, but also the give back, the different things that she's doing in the community. I mentioned before about What's Up AP, during the pandemic where she was going to different businesses. They were putting out videos on Facebook just to keep people going. What's their story? Bring awareness. Hey, go to these different places. Help out. We're going through a tough time.
Sure.
But as you can see, that's who she is. She's about
willing to give back and help
out, which I find tremendous, and I really enjoyed the interview.
And she says it too. I mean, and it's so true. It's just smile. I feel like there's
that. Yes,
this
good point.
Stereotype or whatever about people from New Jersey where they're like, well, people in New Jersey don't smile. You
or
just
kind of
go around, do your business, kind of like the New Jersey, New York kind of vibe. But you go to I guess other parts of the country where people are smiling all the time, greeting you and stuff like that. We do that here a little bit in New Jersey. I think do it more often than people realize, and it's so true though. I mean, to her point as well. Sometimes, and we've talked about it on this show as well. You never know what somebody's going through. Illness, a loss, this and that. Maybe they're just kind of having an exhausting day or a tough day, whatever it is. Small things, big things. Sometimes just even going up to a complete stranger, walking by, smiling and waving hello, say, hey, it's a great day, nice day. It can make all the difference. And, maybe if you're having a tough day yourself and somebody does that to you, you're like, you know what? I feel a little bit better now. So
the energy is there. It's positive. No, I agree. And that's one thing with everything that Kimmee was saying. That's what she is about, giving back, putting out that positive energy. And I really enjoyed the conversation. And Vin, you have to go. And
she wants to hire me there.
Well, number one, you got to start working there, but definitely go right on Cookman Avenue. Enjoy all of those tasty treats.
Oh,
amazing.
Love it. Love all the baked goods. I mean, could sit around. We could do a whole show just on all the different kinds of baked goods, cookies and brownies and cupcakes, and she's got great stuff going on there. Confections of a Rock Star.
I think she mentioned, 10 years is coming up.
That's right. Yes,
it's
a special anniversary there. Yeah. So head to Confections of a Rock Star there on Cookman Avenue in Asbury Park. Check out all the delicious treats that they have over there, and then they also cater too. So if you want a wedding cake or so on and so forth, they'll give them a call or head on over and check out Confections of a Rock Star in Asbury Park. More of the show on the way. Dave's financial wake-up calls. A tasty treat coming up in a couple minutes, and then we got Michael Huber after that. More Short Time with Vin and Dave next.
Hi, this is Christy Pierce-Rampone, former U.S. women's soccer team captain, Olympic gold medalist, World Cup champion, and Point Borough High School alum. And you're listening to Short Time with Vin and Dave on 94.3 The Point and 105.7 The Hawk. Tune in for some real conversation with Dave and Vin. You don't want to miss this.